Hey everybody, we're back with the our last stream for Secrets of Strixhaven Early Access. We're going to start today with some gameplay of Silver Quill Orzhov White Black deck that I drafted yesterday. I've played one game with this deck, and I realized I accidentally played the game with 42 cards. I had meant to trim the trim the deck down further, and I did not. So we're going to start with looking at a couple of cards that we might trim, and then we'll go into some games, and we'll play a few games with this, and then I think we'll do another draft just to see how that goes. Uh, so Silver Quill cares primarily about repartee, like targeting anything, your stuff, their stuff. Um, in repartee in particular talks about targeting a creature. So if you think back to Murders at Karlov Manor, committing a crime was targeting your opponent in any way, them, their stuff. Um, and heroic in the past has had to do with targeting your own stuff, your own creatures. Repartee is targeting your or your opponent's creatures. It's very important with especially the committing a crime stuff that we've had relatively recently within the last couple of years, that you recognize that repartee is targeting creatures. Okay, so that's that's a factor here. Although we don't have a ton of cards in this deck that have repartee, we've got the couple of mascots that care about it. The poet cares about it, and by the way, this poet card is a common that multiple copies are great. You just start draining your opponent anytime you target them, and Silver Quill White Black is really good at targeting stuff all over. You get all kinds of tricks and removal spells and all the things. Um, this particular deck um, is very counter heavy. The first pack one pick one was a Chroma's Will, which is a sweet mythic from the bonus sheet that let you give your creatures 10 million keywords. You're never going to be doing both because you're not controlling commander, but it doesn't matter. It's still such an amazing card. I mean, just look at the first option. All your creatures have flying, vigilance, and double strike. Attack for a million. Um, or your creatures gain lifelink, indestructible, and protection from each color, which means they're basically unblockable. And then off you go there, right? In case maybe your opponents have like flying blockers or creatures with reach that can block and take away the double strike ability. So there, it's just, I mean, still a sweet card. And instant speed could even be used on defense in a pinch. So we need to cut two things, and we're at 15 creatures, 10 non-creatures right now. I have not looked to see if we have any artificial non-creatures. Dig Site Inventory is actually a candidate to be cut. It's sorcery speed, counter, and gains vigilance. Cheap flashback. I mainly put this in because it's targeting stuff and activating repartee twice. It plays really nicely with the Inkling mascot because you make it a 3/3 that can get put in the air often. Um, if you start looking through some of our other cards, like Rapier Wit is another um, kind of trinkety cantrip that is a potential for a cut. We're not cutting our removal. We've got some key twos here that we want to keep. Let's see here. Anything else that I remember from that first game that was not amazing? Arnon is not super amazing here because we don't have a lot of pests running around. We do have Moseo that makes a pest, and we've got Stone Docent that's got one toughness. Laureate has one toughness and power, at least to start with. But we also are potentially going to be putting counters on a lot of these things, so um, and or pumping them like with Enthusiast. So Arnon is a potential cut from this deck because it's probably not going to be draining very often, and that's the main reason you want it. I mean, otherwise it's a 2/2 Death Touch for 3, which isn't the end of the world, but it's also not amazing. So I think we're actually going to start with that. I think we're going to cut Um, I think we're going to cut Rapier Wit and Arnon to start with and go to 14 and 9. And we're going to see how that plays. Again, we'll play a couple of games with this just so you can get a feel for a Silver Quill draft deck. And then I think we'll just concede this deck and do a draft. I have about an hour and a half available on this stream. And fortunately, it looks like the draft queues are still doing great. Only swamps. We can play Poet. We can play Practice. I think this is enough to be able to withstand waiting to draw planes. We've got a couple of early plays. Dissection Practice has been very good in practice, by the way. Wins a lot of combats. And there's our planes. So do we want to play Poet first? Do we want to play Mascot first? I actually think Mascot is our safest next play because on the turn after we're going to be able to target something. And Laureate, you kind of want to be able to be giving something good double strike on the next turn. Terramorphic Expand. I did not even remember that was in this set, but good to know. Tons of fixing in this set. All right, now we have Charm. So what do we want here? I don't think we want Laureate quite yet. I think we play Poet just as a 2. And then hold up Practice. Especially because the opponent might have Quandrix Charm, which is one of its optionalities is counter unless opponent pays 2 mana, and we're not going to be able to do that. We would much rather that Poet get countered than Laureate get countered. Okay. So now our choices get a little bit more obvious. We don't really need Laureate pre-combat. So we're going to attack here. Our opponent is showing Temur mana, which is fascinating. Okay, Essence Scatter. There it is. All right, fine. That's a good scatter. We like drawing a creature here. We'll just attack. Will opponent flash something in? Or just kill us? Okay. Kill it. Fine. Putting 2 counters on our creature doesn't help us. So that's a big removal spell on a small, relatively insignificant creature. We don't care that much. Postmortem Professor, recursion from the graveyard. We're just pecking away here with 2s. Opponent has the potential to be playing some Opus things, showing both red and blue mana. Here comes Stress Stream. 5 damage to the Inkling Mascot. Yeah, I think we're going to have to be okay with that. We would again like to draw a creature this turn, and we did not. That's sad. But Professor's effectively attacking for 3 now. And remember, Silver Quill Charm in our hand means we only need to get our opponent to 3, actually to 4, because Dissection Practice can do an additional damage there, and we will win. Okay, Fractal Mascot is a good play. Taps us down. Though it allows our opponent to stabilize a little bit. We have nothing we can really say about that. Shade Rider is an awesome draw. We drain for 3 with a flyer in the air, so there's our Fey whatever, right? Whatever that card was from Wilds of Eldraine, right? 5 mana, 3/3 flyer, drain for 2, something. Mascot will attack, we will not block. Mascot can just deal us 6. We are way ahead in the race right now. And we can potentially win this turn. Right? What are they going to do to Shade Rider? Tap up to 2 creatures, put a stun counter on one of them. Okay. That's fine. Stun the... on each of them. Okay. Oh, Eternal Student. An important note about Eternal Student is that 4 mana 4/2, you know, unexciting. Even a 3 mana 4/2 is not very exciting right now. But 2 mana exile and create 2/1/1 Inklings with flying is at instant speed. So the whatever the opposite of buyer beware is, buyer take note, and please enjoy, right? Okay. Go ahead. Mascot's going to attack us again. We could block there. We could also just block next turn and create the flyers. Opponent has to decide, are they going to play something? Are they going to try to kill Student? We would not like a spell that exiles Student here. Lecturer, okay. We can potentially destroy that with Charm, although we'd much rather. Alright, that's a thing. X equals 3, okay, so it's played without stun counters. Alright, so what's the plan? What's the plan? 1 blue mana up. That's potentially the blue protection spell, like +0, +3, and hexproof on the Slumbering Dredge. That's very possible. I think that we need to block here with Student and make the flyers to present lethal for next turn. I think we need to play on the back foot here. If they kill Student, we can still make the flyers at instant speed to be able to have a chump blocker for the 6/6. We should have some concern about the 2 mana red spell that deals 2, like the kind of Firebolt equivalent, which right now the opponent cannot flash back, but might have another mountain in hand. Opponent has tons of mana with Lecturer. Okay, what do we have here? Return Student to its owner's hand. That is the worst possible situation. Okay. Opponent's going to present 14 damage to us. 15 damage with increment. That's not good. We can go to 1 with our shenanigans. Because we can drain for 4 and reduce power and toughness by 1 from a creature. We could also just exile the power 2 or less thing. Let's see where this begins. So this will get us to 1. This will allow the opponent to respond. We'll allow this damage to happen. We're holding up Silver Quill Charm still. Opponent's got 5 mana with a lot of blue. Stock up, look at some cards. We have potentially 2 ways to present... No, only 1. Exiling Lecturer will only present 5 damage for us. Although Professor drains for 1 when it attacks. So do we exile Lecturer here just in case, or do we go to... Yeah, opponent could do the thing where they... I think we just drain for 3. Yes. And now we play Student and attack. They gonna kill it? We would be very sad if they killed it. Ah. We should not have played Student. Oh my gosh, we win if we... That's so bad. That was... shouldn't have played Student. Mistake. I didn't even think about the bounce spell. I didn't even think about the bounce spell. We can return this to the battlefield. I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah. Good game. We are going to lose. That's too bad. That's a mistake, folks. Playing out Student would not have helped us in any way, and anticipating the bounce spell would allow us to have the mana to replay Shade Rider and drain for 2. That's as simple as that gets in that game. Too bad. All right, let's play at least one more with this Silver Quill deck. I really like this deck. You can see how even at the end there, like opponent getting to 7 life was lethal for us with the amount of drain that we had. Drain for 1 on board, drain for 4 in hand, 3/3 flyer. The flyer gets bounced, it can drain again. So, all right, this is Moment of Reckoning is a great card, by the way. Who likes Reanimator? What a great card. But this is a really bad initial hand. We have no early plays. We have to mulligan this, unfortunately. We need to get on board early, and this is not... Wow. Draw virtually the same hand, but Graduation Day. We have to keep it. It's not better, but at least it allows us to play something on turn 1. Yuck. All right. Can we get to Student before bad things happen? We played a Quandrix deck yesterday, and green-blue struggles against early pressure. Quandrix, I'm nervous about Quandrix in this format. Now, they got Ramp on board without any early pressure, but Quandrix has a real problem with Lorehold in this format. I think everybody's going to have a problem with Lorehold, actually. But it also has problems with black-green, with white-black. Like, there's a lot of issues. All right, we'll play Student. If opponent kills it with like a bolt or something, then it's fine. It's as good to us in the graveyard as it is on board. 3/2 Sky Coach. We've got flyers that can deal with that. All right. So now we can only really play Docent, but I think we just attack with Student, because then we can make the flyers and have some efficient mana. Right? Boom. Block with the Newt, please. Or take 4. Or block with the Sky Coach. Also fine. Feel free to chime in, chat, if you have any comments about plays or questions or thoughts about upcoming pre-release. All right, use the mana, embrace the paradox, ramp. We're playing another teamer player, so we're seeing some of this. We're seeing some of this like green into Opus kind of thing. I imagine that because green ramps so well, and the Prismari blue-red colors also have some ramp to them, probably more than in a normal format, that you're going to see this fairly often. Like green Opus, green 3-color Opus is going to be pretty popular, especially in draft, where colors may be contested. Okay, 3/3, look for a thing, look for an X card, or a land, Paradox Gardens, all right? So probably didn't find an X card. 5 mana, draw 2. No attackers, exile, make guys. Now we present a little bit of a clock in the air. Okay, we really want to, you see, like Reanimator, man. Look at those cards together. That's just fantastic. Okay, keep Docent to block, and then just attack in the air. Play Professor. Boom. Oh, reach. Let's pay attention to reach, please. Paradox Surveyor has reach. No attacks. Play Professor. Graduation Day is our other major repartee card. That's why we have so many cards that target in our deck. I think you can see my overlay, so just so you can see what our deck is here, even though we don't see any images yet, because we're not officially released in format, so we won't see images till next Tuesday. Sloth, another reach creature. Dislike. Dislike. But you know, Professor's so annoying, and this is why it's a rare, right? Yes, it can't block. But I think if I had named this card, I would have named it Pestmortem Professor. Because it functions like a pest, right? Like it drains, granted, but yeah, the fact that the zombie, it keeps coming back, but it comes back untapped, which doesn't matter because you know its inability to block. But we want to block here because these 1/1s are stoned by the reach creatures, so we might as well take away their 3-mana attacker. All right, Necroscribe is coming. So now what we can do is we might as well attack with Professor and Drain. They can block. They're likely to block because they don't think we have a way of getting Professor back. But we can Drain for 1. It's not going to hurt us. It's kind of like a ping. Because then we're going to play Necroscribe and present a problem for present Graveyard Recursion. They don't know that we have Moment of Reckoning in hand, so so we make them 2 for 1 themselves, right? And then we just this is okay. We kind of hope they attack, and we put Docent in the yard. Moment of Reckoning is so awesome. I mean, just think about the board states that it affects. Destroy not just creature, destroy permanents, or return things from the graveyard. Fantastic. Like, block. Awesome, right? Another Surveyor. Okay. Another 3/3 with reach, but they can look for an X spell. Procrastinate. All right. So, we can't play Moment of Reckoning yet. We can play Enthusiast. Can we make any tokens? Do we want Docent back as a 3/1? It is a decent blocker. We probably want the Surveil more. I don't know. We'll see. Play Enthusiast. We'll probably want to destroy their stuff more than we want Docent back. I think we just do this. Gain 2 life, Surveil. That's fine. Because we can play Wander Off and then ditch it to get Professor back. We can wait on the land for Reckoning. What do we have that makes tokens that causes enthusiasts to become prepared? Oh my gosh, 12 stud counters. That's so funny. Okay. So we want to wander off the sloth so that it can't get pests. Yeah, I think we're just going to do this. I mean, we can't afford to get hit by a counter spell here. Are we still going to get hit by a counter spell? Oh my gosh. Hexproof. Okay, good game. We lose. Yuck. So we had to mulligan again there, and we mulligan to a hand that still didn't have a bunch of early plays, and that's how you beat green-blue in this format, is you attack them early and often, and green-blue doesn't have a good way to recover from that. If you let green-blue get to turn 6, 7, 8, and in a stable condition, you're going to have problems, because they're going to have a lot of card draw, selection, answers, and so forth. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to resign this deck, and then let's go and draft a new one, so that you all can see the draft process, because I did not stream the draft process for this deck. But you got to see a little bit of gameplay there. We ended up in that deck because we drafted the Mythic bonus sheet 4-mana card instant that gives keywords to anything, which to everything, which by the way we never drew in any of the games, even the one you didn't see that we were victorious in. So, all right. Anybody interesting in our draft group here today? Headology Magic is a slightly familiar name. Anyway, okay, let's see here. What do we got? Mythic Rare, one of the Emeritus cycle. Repeated Demonic Tutor. Yeah. Removal spell, Matter Bending Mage is a great uncommon. Obviously best in Quandrix. I mean, the art kind of tells you that anyway. But because Quandrix has all the X spells. But I mean, it's a mana war that has potential to become unblockable, which, I mean, and for 3 instead of for 4, as we've seen some recent mana wars. Emil, Monstrous Rage, awesome. We know that, don't we? Yeah, I mean, we take the Mythic here and enjoy. The really weird Paradigm spell, draw 2, lose 2 life, and you can repeat it at your next. You can repeat it at your next first main phase. I don't know. I don't know. Brotherhood's End, board wipe. Remember that there's not support for black-red in this, like direct support for black-red. Like it's black-white or black-green, right? Sloth Make Pests, Foolish Fate, 3 mana kill things and potentially drain for 3. I think we just take the removal spell here. I don't know. Maybe if we end up with a deck that's like we want the draw a lot, or we want the potential to be able to hit our opponent for 4 in pieces, but Cost of Brilliance is like that draw spell, but you get to put a counter on something, which, something. Okay, let's see here. So our focus should initially be white and green, and see what other cards we have. 2 mana instant destroy creates an Inkling. Return mana value 3 or less and draw a card if stuff left your graveyard, which is weird because it's lore hold kind of. Royal Treatment we just saw was nice, right? I think we take the protection spell here actually, Because Royal Treatment plus Emeritus is nice. Requisition rate is kind of whatever, wants you to go wide, way better in red-white. Mana Worm, 2/5 trample that grows with your instants and sorceries. Killian's Confidence. I really like this card. I like this a better than a lot of people do. It reminds me of the one blue black like pinging draw card enchantment thing from previous sets where you keep recurring it. I think it actually has a lot of similarities to that. Follow the Lumerats. Shade Rider is good. Let's just take this Mana Worm for now and see where that ends up. Shade Rider's a great... I like that card a lot, but... Last Gaps, cheap removal. Osteomancer. I mean, we're getting a hint that actually Silver Quill is looking quite open right now. Especially with a mascot relatively late. It is a common, but still. Rabbit Attack is a really interesting card. Really wants you to be wide. I think better in silver. Well, not even necessarily, because should be good in black anyway, as long as you can make lots of pests. But cheap removal or student, I think... Oh, that's really tough. We're going to take the cheap removal. Wow. Silver Quill. Hello. Laureate. Stand up for yourself. Historian. I think we need to take the Laureate and start hedging. Archaic cares about colors. Draw. What do you want this to be, right? 6/6 for 7? You want to be drawing 3 for sure if you're playing that card. And we're not that colorful yet. Glorious Decay. Yeah. Optionality card. Kind of interesting optionality. We haven't seen stuff like that before. 3 mana, place a counter, gain a life. Probably Zombify here to get Emeritus back, potentially. Yeah, let's start there. Play around your best cards. How many bombs can we draft, folks? That Emeritus can help us go and get. How many bombs? Okay. Man, if we had started black-red, even though it's not supported in the set, we would have had a lot of fun, wouldn't we? Oh boy, is that a good removal spell sitting around at pick 8. Um, 4/6 for 5 that becomes prepared every turn and can give something +2/+0 and Death Touch. I like that thing. This is such a good removal spell, but not direct support for black-red. We're going to lay off it for now. Make 2 bodies. Adventurous Eater that can puts a counter on something once. Whatever. I think we're going to speculate on Potioner's Trove. Black-green wants the life gain. When you gain life, fill in the blank. And we're seeing enough colors available that maybe we're going to care about that later. Docent is whatever. We've seen multiple copies. Man, if I could go back to the beginning of this pack, I think I'd hammer black-red and just say, we're going to play black-red aggro, and I don't care if we have synergy or not. We're going to take Shopkeeper's Bane. Yeah, another Anger. Cost of Brilliance. Ancestral Anger is the card that you would like to see lots of copies of it in your sealed pool. We'll put Raid in our sideboard. And Dromedary. And it looks like green was pretty picked through. Where are we with our slight preference toward black-green? Send in the pest. Essence Knit Scholar. When it enters, make a pass. Draw a card if creatures die under your control this turn. This works really well with the black-green rare that is the Cauldron, that you sack a creature to get for 3 mana to get anything back from your graveyard, because then you're drawing cards off of it. That Cauldron is just awesome. It's like Cursed Cloth Wrappings for this set. I think we just take the potentially extremely cheap removal spell at instant speed off the bonus sheet. Comforting Counsel, when you gain life, put a growth counter on it, and it becomes 5 or more growth counters, it becomes an Anthem. Oh man, +3/+3 is a lot. Additive Evolution is also good. Pick Your Poison is almost the optionality we saw before. Comforting Counsel, I like it. How many pests can we make 4/4s? Right? Slumbering Trudge we played against in the last game. So you could play this as a 1 mana 6/6 with 3 stun counters. 2 mana 6/6. No, 1 mana with 3 stun counters, so it's a 6/6 on turn 4. It's just stats, but it could be a 2 mana 6/6 for... So basically what you're saying is this is a 6/6 on turn 4, but could be played early. It's almost like giving it, what is that, where it's asleep for a while? Why can't I think of that word? I think we'll take it. Just put a big body in there. Giant Growth finds Stirring Honormancer. Not so attractive that we want to splash it. Studious First Year. Awesome common. Awesome 1-drop. Ramps you to 4 on turn 3. Search your library for a land card. Goes on the battlefield. This is an amazing common. I think this is going to be one of the best commons of the set. It's just so much what green wants to do on turn 1. And potentially 2. You can kind of decide whether you want to activate it early or not. Pull from the Grave, getting a couple things back. Another Honormancer. Hypothesis. X-Spell. That surveils. Yeah. Duty Beyond Death. Sack a creature. That is better enough than pull from that. That's a worthy splash. Especially when you're going to have a bunch of pest tokens around. I think we're going to pick that and be potentially interested in splashing it. God, we've seen so many of these. This is a super interesting land because of its ability to re-prepare creatures that can't prepare themselves, like Laureate, for example. But I think we only have, what? You can re-prepare like your 1-drop. 2/2 gain a life triggers our Council. I think we're just going to take the 2-drop. Oh, wow. That means there's 2 copies of Evolution in our deck. Or in our pool, excuse me. Creates a 3/3 and adds counters on combat. So it kind of pays for itself by within a couple of turns. And it's a 5-mana enchantment that does affect the board. Let's see. We don't have a ton of multicolored spells, so Referee is irrelevant. Osteomancer gets something back for an awkward mana cost. But Lumeretz is drawing us 2 cards when we gain life. Lumeretz is a secret black-green gold card. Locust Spray, cheap removal that cycles. But Newt is a death-touching Ramper for 2. Like it. And we wield our other Evolution. This is the other card that re-prepares your creatures or unprepares theirs, which is... that can be just back-breaking. I think we're going to take the second Evolution, though. Where are we with non-creature spells? We have too many, which is basically always my drafts. We're going to take a Graduation Day, actually. Card that could be played. Giant Growth is fine for the sideboard. Nice. Pull from the Grave. We'll throw that in sideboard for now. Swamp, great. Okay. All right. Arnin is good when you have lots of pests. We don't have tons of ways of making pests yet. Grapple with Death is a whatever removal spell, but it does gain life. First year, another one of those would be fantastic. Where are we on creatures early? We have first year, Trudge, kind of. Ignore the white cards. Biomancer and Newt. So we do need early drops. Tackle is a removal spell. We don't necessarily need more of those. I think I'm going to take another first year because we don't have a lot of early drops, and so if we end up still not having a lot of them, we want to be able to ramp to our bigger stuff fast, right? Now, I already have a Pull from the Grave in the sideboard. Graphalon is kind of a whatever 4-drop. Tomekeeper is intriguing here. We already have 3 things that we wouldn't mind becoming prepared again, and unpreparing their thing that they're setting up for on turn 5, for example, especially against like Prismari. This is a decent tech card in your like 20th to 23rd pick. A second Mana Worm. What's our curve look like? Not overly heavy on 4. It's worth a thought. Abigail is not a big enough deal to be splashing. Group Project, Eater, kind of whatever. Efflorescence, put 2 counters on and give something Trample and Indestructible. Good trick. Another Mana Worm. How many instants and sorceries do we have? We have 8 already. We need creatures more than we need non-creatures. Petrified Hamlet. The rare land that has gotten a lot of pub. Activate abilities of the land can't be activated unless they're mana abilities. This is going to matter more outside of limited than it is in, because we're mainly talking about like the surveil ability of lands. We don't need a 3rd additive evolution. Adventurous Eater in the sideboard for now. Or take the rare. Sideboard the creature, fine. Be responsible. Alright, nice. Nice. Remember last, do we have the attacking thing? Did we take it? I don't think we did, and we didn't wheel it either. Yeah. Lewin is a constant pest creator. Really, really good. Yeah, good. Pox Plague. I have not yet figured out if there's a time when you care about this. Each player loses afterlife. This is shortening the game, right? Discards, sacrifices half the things. You want to be playing ultra black control there. Omens makes you discard. I think we just take the... Oh, no. No, Lumaret. Lumaret's better than Shade Rider. Repeated gain life so that Comforting Counsel becomes a thing. Take another Newt so that we're very rampy now and we've got plenty of 2s. I like it. Flourish Indestructible. Better if it gave Death Touch. Efflorescence. I kind of want to take this because it can be protection spell as well. All right, now this is the time when you want to take a card like Arnin because you have Lewin that is making a bunch of pests, and then Arnin, now you got a little engine for draining. And we'll stick a Graphalon in the sideboard. And we have another Efflorescence and a Wild Hypothesis. I like this card better than this one. This just makes a small dude and surveils. So we'll put that over there. Hamlet. I mean, we would be taking that for the vault in a we actually were keeping these cards and it worked Phantom. All right, that was fun. This definitely is okay. Like, we're probably not playing Laureate. We might play Duty Beyond Death, and therefore we're probably not playing. Well, Potioner's Trove, the gaining life tap matters for activating Council faster. Like, this is going to be a major card in our deck where we're just saying we're everything we have is bigger than you. So this is going to be a major plan. We might not even need Duty Beyond Death now, although sacking for Indestructible is valuable. We definitely don't want to be splashing to play Laureate. So we have reasons to play Trove beyond the mana, beyond the ramp. But this is a kind of deck where I think we want to get rid of all of our cards and build it from scratch and say, what do we really want in here? So let's get bigger. We want cheap removal. We want cheap removal. We want cheap removal. Emeritus lets us go get our best cards. Studious First Year is good early ramp. Council is make our stuff big. Loomrats is kind of card draw that we're often going to be able to go get 2 creatures. Newt helps us ramp. Biomancer, early gain life for Council. Decent 2-drop. Shopkeeper's Bane is going to be an important attacker once you get +3/+3. Mana Worm is going to be a very good attacker late. This thing is going to be huge in our deck. Loomrat, life gain. Lewin, make pests. Probably Arnon with it to make the pests be draining for a lot. Like, hard decision, do you block or don't you? Potioner's Trove is a pair with Duty Beyond Death. Where are we with creatures now? Oh, we're really good with creatures now. So we can be nice and selective about what we put back in. Additive Evolution. We may not care about this. The Vigilance is nice, and the creatures growing is nice. And we don't have anything at our 5-drop slot, and this is possibly like our 5-drop. I mean, Shadelock is a good 5-drop. It comes in as a 4/6 that starts giving your stuff Death Touch, and we have trample creatures where that's going to matter. So potentially, yes. Do we have any big ETBs that where the Zombify would matter? I don't think so. Not really. Efflorescence protecting our stuff and giving Trample and Indestructible. Yeah. Where are we with Curve? We could use another 3. So I feel like we want Trudge as a body. Yeah, it's cheap stats like a very possible curve in our deck is Studious First Year on 1, use its Rampant Growth on 2, and play Trudge on 3 as a 6/6, straight up, no stun counters, not tapped. And then what you would want with Trudge is something like Efflorescence to give it Trample and Indestructible. So that's a decent trick and can protect, a critical creature or something for us. Let's see. Let's see. What else would we like? Do we want Duty Beyond Death? Are we wide enough that we care? With Trove, activating Council earlier? Maybe. This is really a like splash or not to splash question. Trove would allow us to ramp to 5 from 3 to get to additive evolution. We have several ways. First year ramps us, Newt ramps us, and Newt is giving us green mana, which evolution would care about. I actually wonder. Oh, but we're 37 already. Man. Do we have enough stuff to play 16 lands in this deck? I want to see what that looks like. That's dangerous because, I mean, we don't have that many huge things though. We got a lot of mana reducers. We're going to get extra lands. Let's see what that looks like. We could just, play Pull from the Grave and Cost of Brilliance. Like, draw some cards, get some creatures back. We've got plenty of creatures. And then, oh, we haven't even put Royal Treatment in. Is Royal Treatment better than Efflorescence? No. Hexproof and Ward 1. Man. Choices, right? Cards 21, 22, 23. So some of this is like, what are your rules of engagement in the format? And this format has felt very, very snowbally to me. Like every deck can snowball. And so you have to have ways to do that, because if you can get out snowballed by your opponent, then you're gonna lose. And like, we're ramping to big stuff, but then we can't just say play big stuff. We have to have a way to go over the top with that. And to me, evolution does that. I don't know if you can play an attrition-y kind of game as without something like a board wipe, in as well as in other formats, because your opponents can just grow beyond your scope. I want to try Evolution, Trove, Duty Beyond Death as the one splash. And I want to see what this looks like with lands. So you want 8 green sources to be able to get your early plays here in green. You can afford to cut a plains. In fact, you can, no. So what I'm looking at is actually 8, 7, and 1. That seems mildly irresponsible. Is there a non-creature card that we can cut? Or 16, 8, and 1 though? Man, that's tempting. That's so tempting. What's our alternative? Not play the splash. This ramps us to evolution. I want to try it. If we get mana hurt right away in the first, games, I'll make an adjustment. And we do. Mulligan. Newt, Trove, see? Even on a mulligan, this is a very good 6-card keep, man. Keep 6, ditch a forest, play a forest. Newt on 2, Trove on 3. Just attack, right? Yeah. Let's just do damage. Evolution next turn. Counter goes on the Newt. Newt attacks as a 2/3 death touch. Okay, that's fine actually. Still okay. Still okay. Duty Beyond Death is activated. Here we go. Additive Evolution. Go. Put a counter on it. Next turn we replay Newt. Okay. Fine. Oh, thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. Um, my next stream will not be early access. My next stream is actually going to be I'm going to do a stream this weekend after I pre-release on Friday night to show what sorry, get distracted here. Back to my chat. No, I'm totally distracted. Sorry. Yeah, I'll my next stream, I'll post it in my Twitch schedule, but it's going to be after my pre-release on Friday night. I'm going to do a stream Saturday morning where I talk about the deck and what I experienced in pre-release. Okay, Shopkeeper's Bane. Counter it? Sure. Okay, Noxious Newt. Put a counter on this dude. Attack with it. Look at that. Now imagine 2 additive evolutions going on. Okay, and here goes Lewin. Whee! All right, this is sweet. Here we go. So we're going to add Lewin and create the pest right away because the pest is important fodder for Duty Beyond Death. Are they going to counter this now? That'd be really annoying. Okay. Pest Friend. That is such a good name. Such a good name. Create the pest. Oh, they tone blasted my Newt. Yeah. It's fine. We'll create the pest out of the Newt. We don't have a way of getting creatures back from our graveyard. Maybe that's more important than Duty Beyond Death, actually. So we're going to exile the creature and prepare Lewin. Okay, fine. Foolish Fate. It's good. We're going to gain 2 life because we can. Put a counter on it. Attack for 6. That is a growing problem. Do they have the blue bounce your thing? Tone blasts the pest. Fine. It's okay. Slumbering Trudge is coming in at full value. Let's go. X equals 3. Hi, buddy. Here's my 7/7 with Vigilance. Want to block? Whee! That's so much fun. Okay, end turn. We need to hold up Trove for Duty Beyond Death, just in case. Okay, increment. Arnin. Fodder for Duty Beyond Death, basically, right? Attack with big bodies. Can you see in this game already why that, why the efflorescence trick that gives Trample and Indestructible is going to be so good in this deck? Because we're going to have attacks like this a lot of the time. A lot of the time. Rapturous Moment. Draw 3, then discard 2. That's a good sign. I mean, opponent's getting a ton of mana back, but this is like the ultimate Opus spell, right? Opus followed by Opus. They've built a lot of ways into this set. Prismari's going to be really good. It's going to be really, really good. They've built in ways to like multiple Opus on the same turn when you have 5 mana or more.
I'm about to head out the door. I'm walking over the academy for Reporter with Leo.
Okay. Oh, what's happening? Am I dying? Dealing 4? Do I want to just Duty Beyond Death this? I think I do.
I'm home, buddy. Is it 11:56? We're almost there.
Might as well, right? Opponent's creatures are both dying next turn due to blocking. I'm going to gain 2 life off of Trove.
Yeah, I don't expect to be back home until about 1:30. Okay. I have my house keys, so if you leave, you can lock up.
Thinking, thinking, thinking. Does Oaf McNamara have a play? I mean, Oaf McNamara has, like, unless there's magic mana coming out of somewhere, I think this is game. Sending out your SOS. Oh, come on, don't time out. Come on. This is early access. If you're legitimately thinking of a play here, it's fine. Oh, this is a card I haven't seen. Pay a life, add a mana, instant sorcery. 5 mana becomes a 2/4 wizard that grows with instants and sorceries. Interesting. The entire library becomes a wizard. We're just going to time out in early access, huh? It's not like the win is really worth anything. I could just concede, but I'm going to not concede just on principle. It's what a garbage. Great Hall is one of those cards that's fine in limited but really good in older formats. Yeah, true. So this is a, once again, forgive my 25-year gap in Magic. Is that a reprint? That card. Okay. Should we just win the game? Oh, cool interaction here. If you go into full control and Foolish Fate your opponent's creature, you can then tap Trove, I think, because you've cast an instant or sorcery, and then you gain 2 life. I might be wrong about that. It's not going to matter. I mean, we just win, right? Yeah, it won't let us. Don't get to use both directions of that ordering. Oh, actually, maybe. Yeah, it will work. Gain 2 life. So we gain the life, and then the opponent loses 2 life. Or loses 3 life. Cool interaction. Cool interaction. Yes, I had fun. My deck played exactly the way I wanted it to. Of course. When isn't that fun? Yeah, that's an interaction that's easier to declare in paper, but it's important to note that works. If you have an instant speed way to gain life, like we did with our mana rock there. Sweet mana rock for black green. Gain life whenever you want. Yeah, infusion only. Good point. Come on! Come on! We had to mulligan our last hand too, but we're playing 16 lands irresponsibly here, though. Fascinating. Really tempting to ditch Biomancer to keep Trove to be able to ramp and keep the 3 lands, because Emeritus will let us go look for cards repeatedly. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Ensure that we can play Trove and ramp in case we miss our 4th land drop. And the fact that we can go get other cards. Although we're not going to be able to play Loomrit. We maybe should have pitched Loomrit there, actually. And kept the other 2 drop. Be able to play something on 2. I really like playing Trove because of us having, where is it? Comforting Counsel, the rare that is a +3/+3 anthem once you've gained life 5 times, because it just lets you get there faster. And obviously you can then splash, but yeah, we haven't ever drawn any of our 2/1 drops that let us ramp with lands, so probably Duty Beyond Death is not worth it enough. And we don't have enough ways of making pests. So I think we're probably going to go back and still play Trove for ramping purposes, because our deck is built around multiple ramp sources. But we love seeing our opponent play nothing. But Emil. Okay. Okay. Enters prepared. Opponent's playing green-blue. Bite spell would need to gain life first to do that. I think we're going to try playing the Emeritus here. Because we'd rather tutor next turn than play the Loomrat next turn. We could have played Loomrat, try to suss out a smaller removal spell, but the problem is if you play Loomrat, you play into things like the +0/+10 fight spell, the bite spell without the +1. Okay, that's fine. Last Gasp. Tempting, but Differently named lands. They're going to have 3. I actually think we just kill Emil here. Because if we get to a later turn where we've actually drawn one of our 7 swamps, then we play Emeritus and we like tutor right away. And we don't let them play tempo shenanigans. So I think we just last gasp Emil and say, no, you're not going to play a land and like potentially make a 3/3 or a 4/4 fractal next turn. We don't care about the 2/2 attacking us. Quick study, draw 2 cards. See, it's fine. Now we make them stall a little bit. 5 mana, draw 2. Okay. All right, there we go. Now we're talking. All right. So, Lumeret, gain a life, first year, let's go, gain a life, search for a land. We don't really need the plains because we've already got the mana rock. We want the swamp so that we can play Emeritus for value. I don't think we need to discard anything, so play the forest, just keep it. Got decent blockers on board. Yeah, you know, if we cut the splash for Duty Beyond Death, then we could potentially play the colorless land. That, let's see. We don't care about blocking here. Like, this is fine. Why? 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 I don't understand that attack, really. Why would you not want to keep the ability to draw 2 cards? I guess I understand attacking with the 2/2, because maybe they're willing to trade that off for our life gainer, but I don't understand that. Like, the 1/1 is doing nothing for us there. All right, let's go look for a card. What would we like? Shadelock, sure. We could go get a removal spell. Should we get Comforting Counsel and start gaining life on things? Do we have the creatures in the graveyard? Not yet. To be able to do the thing? I don't know. What do we think? Trudge? Nah, whatever. We can play Council this turn. I think Evolution makes another creature and makes our stuff grow. Yeah, fine. Removal spell. I think we're going to get Council and just play it. And then every creature we gain from now on, we're going to hold the land just because we can hold land. Let them wonder. Hi, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining. Lots of card draw. We don't really want Lance. And we have to just sit. I don't like it. Create X tokens and X counters on each. Oh my gosh. That's going to be a large number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7. Play it for 3. Create 3 3/3s is what that would do. Nice. We got to start hammering here now. We need stuff that gives us the ability to attack. All right, there we go. 2 or more creatures died this turn. Okay. Here we go. Gain a life. Council. Put a counter on. Pest friend. Make a dude. Yes. That's right. Gain a life. Exile a creature. Become prepared. And by the way, Lewin's ability is a sorcery which activates Potioner's Trove. Let's make another one. We're not going to attack. We're just building up our board. We're going to gain 2 life because we've cast an instant or sorcery, and we are one turn away. If we attack with a pest next turn, Council is turned on, and then we're attacking with a bunch of just huge things. Like 4/4 pests to start with. Okay, opponent's drawing cards, gaining a lot of life. What are we drawing toward here? Making a bunch of big 4/4s or something? Alright. When we attack with the pests, this is going to turn on. We don't need the life gain now as much as we need, because that's just to turn this on. Creatures in the graveyard will allow us to activate Lewin, so we're just going to get stuff back anyway. So we're going to go to combat, and we're going to attack with the 3 little things. What do we got here? To start with, right? Bingo, Council turns on. Boom. Boom. Everything is huge. Oh, destroy the enchantment. That's no fun. Nice. Oh, that really hurts. That really, really hurts. Do we have anything in our sideboard that lets us get permanents back from the graveyard? We're going to go look at that later, because that would matter a lot. Ouch, that really hurt us. So now we're going to chuck the Lumerit. Why are we waiting on my gaining life? What are we holding up for? It's not like I needed the Trove to create white mana or something. Opponent only has 14 cards left. Milling out is a viable possibility in this matchup. Although opponent is going to make a billion fractals is what's going to happen. Lewin run behind. Do we care about getting Lewin back? Enters prepared. Make a pest. I think it's fine. We're okay getting Lewin back. Because we'll draw Lewin next turn, then we can tutor, right? No, we can't, because we just died. We are in big trouble now. Big trouble. Opponent is drawing their entire deck, folks. They're going to make 2 billion XXs pretty soon. draw a card, gain a life, draw a card, gain a life, draw a card. Are there any cards in this format that are make you happy when you're... Can we block with the pest? Do we want to block with the pest? Probably not yet. Now opponent starts attacking. They're going to make 8 billion XXs, right? Yeah, probably. We're going to gain some life and buy some time. But I don't think we have enough card draw here to overcome our opponent's card advantage. This is a very long game. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're definitely chucking Duty Beyond Death. We're getting rid of the splash. We'll probably include the land that re-prepares things. We're going to go back to 17 lands, as we've already had to mulligan each of the last 2 games. Why are we delaying on the casting of Pest Friend? Unless we're talking to our streaming audience, maybe. Do we have a creature? We don't want to chuck Emeritus, do we? We want to gain life. We've got 2 pests that we can use as fodder. Okay, what are they drawing toward? Like, just make a billion XX fractals, right? Additive evolution, yeah. Oh, I see. Maybe they wanted their fractal maker first before they cast that. Sloth, yeah, okay. We would like to have multiple sloths. I only think we saw one in the draft that we could have taken. Tam, block, jump. Yeah. Mana Worm we could have used way earlier. Way earlier. I think we actually chuck Emeritus now to... No, not this turn though. Not this turn. Because we would want to make Mana Worm bigger. We're just in such big trouble. Like, we're in big trouble. What we talked about earlier about this format snowballs, and you better have a way of doing that better than your opponent. We are watching our opponent snowball into a board position that is unsustainable. And here's their ace in the hole, right? Oracle's Gift. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They can already make 5 5/5s and put 5 counters on their 3/3. That is a big number. 5 5/5s is a lot. Nope, we can't attack. We can't attack. We have a lot of cards that don't quite do enough. I cannot see a card that we would draw that would do anything for us here. It kind of blew up our plan. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to just say good game and concede here. This game is not a winnable game. All right. I have time for at least one more game with this deck. At least one more. But we're going to go in and fix this first. We're going to get rid of some stuff. We're going to get rid of Duty Beyond Death. We are going to... do we have a way of getting Comforting Counsel back? Draw 2 creature cards back. Zombify creature card back from the graveyard. Creature gets hexproof. We don't have a way to protect it. We're going to ditch the plains. We're going to play an additional swamp. And play the waypoint to be able to prepare things cheaply. Do we have any card that we would like to get rid of to play get creatures back? Or do we just want Cost of Brilliance for card draw? What's more important? Pull from the Grave gains life, which plays into Council, so maybe we just want that. Maybe lose a Mana Worm, add a Pull from the Grave. I kind of like that. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it. Fine. This is a perfect example of Slumbering Trudge, right? Pay X equals 0. Comes in with 3 stun counters. Flying lifelink becomes prepared. Yeah. Okay. Follow the Lumerets. What do we want more? Another forest? I think so, right? Just take a land. It's fine. Pull from the Grave doesn't help us. Next turn. Biomancer's nice, though. Play the forest, play Biomancer. Play Lewin on 4? Rather play it on 5, but maybe Emeritus. Maybe Lewin. Pull from the Grave. Another Ink Mage. Oh, it's going to become prepared. Putting a counter on it makes it do it continuously. Yeah, that's for sure. Okay. Play Lewin. Decent blocker against 3/3s, right? Silver Tongue could be a mill plan late in the game. Mainly it's fueling itself, right? If you put a counter on it, it's a great wearer of counters. Probably one of the reasons that it's a rare, because it's once it has a counter, it's going to deal 2 damage, gain 2 life, and then you're drawing cards for free. I mean, for free life, I should say. I mean, you're repeatedly paying 2, drawing 2, paying 2, drawing 2, which means you have a repeatable and mana efficient divination. There's the poet draining. Yep, 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 yep. Don't you want to cast this first? Oh, beginning of your second main. So the reason we want to block the Ink Mage is because we have Pull from the Grave. We can just get our creature back. And even if they blow us out here, like, that trade is good for us. Opponent's going to draw 2. Yep. So last gasp, and Silver Tongue is unfortunately out of range of that, which is super annoying. I think we just play Shadelock. Because our Trudge is up now, right? Like, Trudge is a clock. We're presenting bodies that are big enough. Okay, exiles. Yeah, we get drained. That's super annoying. Attack. Um, I would not have attacked with Poet, but whatever. Foolish Fate. There we go. There we go. Man, I wish we could pull from the grave and gain life and deal 3, but we can't. So, the correct answer here is to kill Silver Tongue, to kill Ink Mage, and to attack for 6. Okay, look at the top X. Look at the top 1 card. So this is your floor case for Onomancer, right? Draw 1, 4/5 draw card. Okay, Newt as the Death Toucher for the crackback. Pull from the grave to gain life, sorcery speed. Here we go. We're going to attack. Boom. Play Newt. Pull from the grave. Get our creatures back. Let's go. Osteomancer. Return a creature. Return Silver Tongue. Fair enough. Put a counter on your thing, but you can't attack. Just saying, you can't attack. Swamp. Emeritus, go get a removal spell, right? What are we getting? What spell are we going to get? Yeah. We actually have less removal than I thought we did. That's not great. That's probably one of the reasons we struggled in that last game. What do we want to go get, actually? Do we want to get, like, Efflorescence? -5, -5. Evolution. If you gain life, gets trample and indestructible. I think we probably just want the removal spell. We've got chances of drawing evolution, and that's literally our last removal option. Do we dare lose 4 here? I don't think we do. I think we hold up Dismember to be able to kill Silver Tongue, especially if they pump Silver Tongue. That's getting pretty big. And we are out of removal spells. Do we have a way of dealing with that? I do not see anything other than life gain that will help us stop. And unfortunately, the Death Toucher in this set cannot give itself reach. That is not helpful. I think we lose, folks. Yeah, I think we lose. I had an incorrect feeling during during the draft that we had drafted enough removal, and that was absolutely not the case. We're gonna concede here. Let's look through our pool a little bit, but I was concerned with creature count. I probably should have been less concerned with creature count, especially with double additive evolution. We have protection, but if you look at what our removal actually is, we have Last Gasp. We have, there was at least one time we turned down a removal spell. We have Dismember. We have Foolish Fate. And that's it. So this deck is suffering from insufficient removal, without question. Even that +0/+10 fight spell with Newt is valid here, right? So a little bit too. So yes, we have the ramp, but we need probably 2 more pieces of removal to be happy with this deck. And where would that go? Like, replace 1 or 2 of our 5 drops, or maybe even, yeah, because we're not going to have an attacking problem with Comforting Counsel. So, okay, I think that's going to be it for now. We're gonna that's the end of early access for me. I hope you enjoyed some of this. Again, my next stream is going to be probably on Saturday morning, when I will post what my I'm going to post my entire, or I'm going to stream and show my entire pool from pre-release on Friday night, and talk about some of the deck building decisions. Talk about how things played out and some of my early notes on the format. And then you can also watch for me, not on this stream, but on Sirkovitz's Magic Numbers stream on Monday. I'll be participating in that as we put together archetype skeletons, and we're intentionally doing it a week later than we normally do for a set. We normally do it what would have been 2 days ago Monday, but we wanted to try this time having early access and pre-release having happened, so that we had experience with the cards both digitally and in paper, and so that we can use that to speak to how we're putting the skeletons together, and already have some idea of what is working and what isn't, what cards want to play nicely with each other, so that we can prepare everybody for, and then also doing it next Monday puts it the day before the set releases on Arena. So for in full next Tuesday. So hopefully that'll be beneficial. But that's your next 2 times to be able to see me is Saturday morning, kind of post-mortem pre-release, and then on Monday on the Magic Number stream. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you then.